Hello everyone, how you doing? You're very welcome to this week, the last rugby view before Christmas, and to talk about all things rugby with me. As always, we have Adrian Leddy from Craig's Rugby Club. Hello, Adrian. How are you? Are you well?
Good afternoon, Aidan. Yeah, it's great, and all looking forward to Christmas now, just around the corner. So
That's it.
sometimes in November when the singing goes on in the shops, yeah, you say, well, it's a long time away yet, but it's just with us now, and this is the big week to get all the last bits of shopping and all done, and the Christmas presents bought.
Yeah, the final straight, as to say. But yeah, so I suppose we'll start off as we always do. Oh yeah, just to say happy Christmas to yourself and your family, there, Adrian, and also to everyone in Rosfm. And thanks very much for. It was great working with you for 2023, and we look forward to working to volunteering in Rosfm and presenting Friday Sport and GA View in 2024 and bringing you more sports news in 2024. So. Yeah, and thanks to yourself as well for doing Rugby View with us in 2023, and looking forward to 2024 and what we hope will be a great remainder of the season for all teams that we talk about, Adrian.
Yeah, I'd just like to add to that. I'd like to wish all your listeners in Ross FM a very happy Christmas and enjoyable one and a healthy one for everybody as well. I think it's very important one's health that they're able to enjoy Christmas, and there'll be a lot of maybe lonely people out there too, and I would ask people to maybe look in on people that's on their own in the rural communities and in towns and so on, that we think of everybody at this time. And it has been a great year, and great year for sport in all forms of sport. And it's only when you start to look back at all the different games and different activity. And I suppose in rugby circles, the Rugby World Cup was the big event during 2023. And it was absolutely it gripped the nation. It gripped the nation, similar to nearly the great years of the Jack Charlton era with the soccer. So I think Andy Farrell and the team can be very proud of the way that they got in winning the Grand Slam, Six Nations, and getting so far in the World Cup. And at the end of the day, they might have been knocked out of the quarterfinals, but really the four best teams were in the quarterfinals. They were really the semi-finals, and it is nothing to be ashamed of. And it's now back into the real club rugby and provincial rugby, and the clubs are all back up and running their first part of the season over. They have the first part of their league program played. There'll be a mixture of cup games and league games now going into the new year, and that's something to look forward to at club level as well.
And of course, the in 2024, the thing we've to look forward to too is the Six Nations. But also, we'd have to give a special mention to the under 20s, who did very well in the under 20s World Cup as well. That was some performance. Unlucky to lose out to France, in the final, but they did themselves and they did their country proud.
Absolutely, like a lot of our players have come through that system now from the main schools at provincial level, and coming through to the academies at provincial level as well. So and on to the national team. So the under 20s have turned out to be a big mark for players progressing on to higher levels. And we have been absolutely outstanding at under 20 level for the last number of years. And as you said, we came up against a very strong France team in the final. They were a class apart. They were big professional men. Most of them play in their own league at the highest level. So they're a stage further in their development than the Irish under 20s were.
And of course, there was one or two under 20 players as well that was in the senior squad after that as well, and they made their mark in that. So the future is bright for the senior team too. When you, as I think I said it earlier on in the season, when you see the quality of the under 21s, we have the under 20s that we have coming through.
Yeah, well, we're watching quite a number of the under 20s over the last couple of years coming through into the provincial sides at the moment, and it's just interesting to see how players develop. When you have been watching them developing from under 16, under 18, up into under 20, and then making their mark into the provincial side. And you would like to see that some of them will even, will go that stage further than onto the national team. So it's a great to have that and have the conveyor belt of talent coming through. And as I say, Andy Farrell has taken on the job to the next World Cup, and I'm sure he's going to be looking at a lot of this young talent that will be available to him for the next World Cup.
And of course, it was great to see, it happened last week, that he has signed a new contract with the IRFU. That's essential, I suppose, for the continuity and success of this current Ireland team. I suppose it keeps it'll be good for consistency going into the next couple of years.
It will indeed, yeah. Like as I said, he's been a very successful Irish coach. He seems to get the best out of players, and it was a no-brainer that if he was willing to take it on for a further 4 years, that he would get the job. And thankfully, that he has agreed to take on the role again as the Irish coach.
And of course, I suppose a tribute to and part of that success is due to, I suppose, the quality of the coaching team around him. Obviously, when you see Paul O'Connell, Simon Easterby, all these kind of players have really had a great influence on these players and the ongoing development and training and strength and conditioning of this Ireland team. So it's and I suppose that's down to Andy Farrell's eye for good coaches, and he was very meticulous and very careful in assembling that coaching team.
Yeah, he was indeed, and like it's a team effort, and he'll have to make a few changes in his coaching team. Mike Catt has his second in command has moved on, so that will be a replacement for somebody. And needless to say, he may look at a few other positions and as well for his new team going forward for the next 4 years.
And of course, just before we start off with the mini rugby, of course, where it all starts, at the grassroots level, we'd like to say well done and thanks to all the sponsors, all the coaches, all over the west of Ireland, to keep rugby going, both from mini rugby, under youth rugby, and indeed the second and first teams at all the clubs, and indeed the All Ireland League as well. And indeed the Ireland team as well. And thanks for a great year. And of course, it's all this is great, but of course it's not possible without the great financial backing. Obviously, there's with and we always say it with Craig's Rugby Club, it all comes down to the finance and the supporters and parents and the players and all that. These are all the things that kind of keep rugby going as well. So we have to say well done and thanks very much to all of them. And of course, we've said it on a number of occasions, the foresight of Craig's Rugby Club. When you see the lovely where it was, as we've always said, where there was only one pitch in Craig's, and now there's several pitches and a great stand and lovely new facilities as well. So that just goes to show you, and with the several fundraising initiatives that you've had, and of course the planning as well, and the quality of the facilities, which is ongoing and nearly ready, and will be ready at some point in 2024 as well.
Yeah, well, as I said, volunteers are extremely important within any club or within any sport, and people that gives of their time freely is so important, and and they're there, and I don't think at times they get enough of recognition for the time and effort that they put in on a voluntary basis. And they're not alone out there in all kinds of weather, training coaches and management with all the various teams. They're traveling away at weekends on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, away to Connemara, away to Ballina, away to Westport. Long journeys where a full day is gone on the road with young people, and as you say, maybe the future of rugby, with a lot of mini rugby and youth players there that people are putting the effort in. And that has to be admired. Also, referees that give up their time on a weekly basis as well. No game can take place without the referees, and we always encourage more and more people to take up the whistle. And you never have enough of referees, you never have enough of volunteers, particularly when you're a club like Craig's that's growing all the time with the sizable numbers now that's involved in mini rugby and youth, and also at senior level, that you need a lot of hands on deck to make the show running. And you're right that in order to keep all that going and the wheels turning, you need the financial support as well. And we are very fortunate that we have great support from the local community and all around, in all the various fundraising exercises that we do, and various draws that we run on a regular basis, because we have to do it. And it's there. It's not for our own personal gain. It's there for the future, for young boys and girls coming along, that we're leaving our legacy that they're behind, that they will have good facilities, modern facilities that's up to date for the modern game. And we're very proud of that fact, to be able to do that, and to be able to give it the time for it. And the community in the whole catchment area of Craigs see that, and the lotto is very well supported. And at the moment, people wants to win maybe 12,000 there for Christmas. Please do the lotto, the Craig's lotto, and you'll be in with a chance to win. It's good. It's great support. You're supporting your local club. So I encourage anybody there to support our lotto there over the Christmas period.
That's it. And we start off as we always do every week, and we start off with the mini rugby. And there was recently, or last weekend, there was a big blitz on, which is great. And of course, this is the cornerstone of the development of all rugby, of all mini rugby players, isn't it? This is where it all starts, and these blitzes play a key part in that development.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, Aidan, to see the growth in mini rugby and in youths there, from humble beginnings, that now that there on last Saturday morning, that you had 400 young boys and girls participating in rugby and in mini rugby. And it was absolutely so well run, so well managed, coaches, teams on different pitches. It was a sight for anybody to just walk in out of the blue and just see what's going on a Saturday morning in Craig's. And we had two teams, two or neighbouring teams each side of Craig's. One, the mini rugby from Buccaneers and the mini rugby from Dunmore were able to host both clubs, and they added to the entertainment, and they added to great games in Craig's. And it's all at that age level, from under 12 back, from 7 to 12, in participating in the game and getting the enjoyment out of it. And I would always emphasize that it's very important for young players, both at mini rugby and at youth level, to really enjoy the sport. And that it's important out there. They meet new friends from all over, and there on Saturday morning they met new people that they hadn't seen before from Dunmore and Buccaneers. So it's great, like to have that in that we're able to widen the catchment of Craigs out to Dunmore and out to Buccaneers. So to have all them players playing on the pitches in Craigs.
And of course, going on then to youth rugby, and there was plenty of underage action on over the weekend as well. And I think this weekend as well. I think it's with this weekend being Sunday being Christmas Eve and all that. It's Saturday will probably be the last until after Christmas.
Well, there's very little on this weekend, but it's just a case of catching up on a few games, and the mini rugby now breaks until the 6th of January, Saturday the 6th of January. They'll be all back again. Youth rugby at the weekend there continued. The number of girls teams played. Unfortunately, the Mullingar Craig's under 18 game didn't go ahead, but a number of other games went ahead, and the great win over the weekend at youth level was really our under 14s beating the top under 14 team Galwegians at the weekend. So it was great to see the under 14s there. Maybe after the game that they had against the South African team helped them, and they went out there and just a big senior club with a lot of underage players like Galwegians. It's great for a small little club like Craig's that we can compete and defeat a team at that level. So there's a lot. It has been a great year for both the boys and girls at youth level. We're up there in the top of most of the leagues. We have competed very strongly at all levels. So it's a lot of teams when you're starting off at 12 for each age group between 12 and 18. So it's a lot of teams out on the field every weekend, and to manage them and to have sufficient coaches to be able to travel with them and be involved with them all the time. And there is talking to coaches, they're very enthusiastic with the teams that they take on, and they get a certain amount of enjoyment out of it as well.
That's it, and the pride when they see those players progress up through the grades and into obviously the second teams and the first teams. The underage coaches take pride in that when they say, "Oh, look, we had a hand in developing those players," and so that's great. And of course, with those teams that have gone by, there's always teams, there's always players coming from the mini rugby thing, and that's a great thing about sport. There's always a conveyor belt of players coming through. So one lot are gone, and there's another lot coming in, and that's the brilliant thing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and the coaches even during the week there, they brought a number of the teams together in Craig's for a Christmas party that the kids had themselves, and them all dressed up in Christmas jumpers and all various Christmas regouts, etc., etc. And also a lot of the girls and boys, they did a certain amount of baking and all as well. So there's plenty of buns and food and all for them all. So they had a great evening in Craig's there during the week, and there was a great Christmas festive thing. Is part of it, and it's part. That's why I say it's part of enjoying it and enjoying off the field as well as on the field.
And of course, that brings us on to the first and second teams. I suppose matches might be dying down now, but the players will still be out on the training pitch, training for 2024 as well. Maybe one or two. I don't know. Maybe there might be some social match on over the Christmas or something like that. But yeah, the training, the matches might stop, but the training doesn't. There's continued training going on over the Christmas.
Yeah, that's correct, Ian. Because like we have to be ready. Both teams will be facing into cup competitions when they go back after Christmas, and we had at the weekend. We had our second side out against Tuam in Craigs on Sunday. They defeated they defeated Tuam. So like the seconds are looking well in that table at the moment. It's, you know, again, they played a very strong physical Tuam team, but they stood up to it, and they came away with the victory. So they have a lot of the big guns to play yet now. Like Carrick-Shannon is doing very well, Ballina and Galwegians, three teams there that's, you know, that they have to play yet in that division. And maybe some games that it's at home and away. Maybe, you know, as the season is wearing on with number of games called off due to weather, some of the games may be doubled up. And on top of that, then you have their first team. They'll be back on the second week of January to play in the Junior Cup, and they'll be playing the winners of Ballyhonus and Corinthian second. So that game will be away. So it'll be whoever comes out on top there, which I would suspect that Corinthian seconds probably are a strong side at the moment, and I can see, you know, the club is going exceptionally well at first level as well. That they could be our contenders in the Junior Cup. So we wait and see. But that's what we all have to look forward to. There'll be plenty of rugby to look forward to now again in early January, and as you say, training will continue over the Christmas period.
And that brings us on to the AIL level, and all the clubs in from the west of Ireland in the AIL, and of course, Buccaneers got a win, I believe, last weekend. So they were playing Blackrock College. That was a good win against, I suppose, a college, or against a club that's that's steeped in rugby history and are renowned for producing very good rugby players.
Yeah, you're right, Aidan. That was the result of the weekend, really. You know, it surprised us all, really, that they travelled away to Blackrock, and they got a resounding victory of 26-17. And, you know, they showed they came back into it, and, you know, they fought hard for it, but they proved a point. And let's hope they can put a run of games again. Now they face Blackrock again immediately after Christmas. That's the way the league, they've all their first round of league games played, so the second round will be on now, and they face the last team that they played, and you know they have Blackrock coming up again, but they have them in Buccaneers, and I'm sure they have learned a lot from that particular game. And it's lovely to see the captain Shane Ledden, who's from North Rosfm, the famous Ledden family, and that he's captain that team in Buccaneers. And I was delighted for him to see that Buccaneers came away with a bonus point win on Saturday there. And, you know, that was an important win. It's an important win now going into Christmas and to start the second leg, because they needed that. They had a lot of poor results and they hadn't been going well. And for their coaches and management, like this is a bonus going into the Christmas. And we had the other teams out as well. We had the Corinthians travelled to Sligo. That was again a ding-dong game. Corinthians came out on top. It was a low-scoring game, 15-11. But you know, it's Corinthians have put a good team together, and they are going well in the particular league. Sligo opened up their prior to the game on the day. They opened up their new dressing rooms. There, the official opening of the new dressing rooms. And Galwegians, another home derby. Galwegians defeated Ballina, travelled to played the game in Glenina in Galway, and won the game 27-18. Now Ballina are struggling in the league at the present time, so they will hope to turn around the new year and try and get a few victories to move up the table.
That's it, and that's great heading in, because you know, maybe that win against Blackrock now will maybe it would be great motivation and a great confidence booster, I suppose, going into 2024. And maybe they can work on the things that maybe went wrong in the games that they lost, but also take pride in the things that carry the things that went well in the against Blackrock, carry that into 2024. So there's a good it kind of balances itself out, but 2024 is a new beginning, and hopefully if they can play like they played against Blackrock, then it'll make a good second half of the season for them.
Yeah, they had a very unsettled side in the early part of the season. So let's hope that the team that played against Blackrock now, that they will gel together and continue to get the results. And it's as you rightly said, it's a good confidence booster going into the new year.
And then I suppose we have other. Then were Sligo playing last weekend, or are they playing this weekend, or how are they going?
All the game. Last weekend was the end of the EIL until the new year. Sligo played Corinthians at home, and Corinthians defeated them 15-11. Yeah,
that's it. Of course, that brings us on to Connacht Rugby, and unfortunately, they were away to Saracens, and not the result that they wanted. But look at this. This is a very good. It's a very good Saracens team, and very hard to beat. But I suppose it's just when you see now the team is starting to gel. Those new Irish players, the Irish players now that are back, it might take them, like I said last weekend, it'll take them a few games, and now that it's calmed down until after the Christmas, then hopefully they'll be able to pick it up now and get some victories in the new year.
They will indeed, yeah, absolutely. It's Connacht were defeated by Saracens away, and that was a tough game. Saracens are one of the top teams in England at the present time, and that was in the European Cup, and maybe the European Cup is maybe a bit too far reach for the kind of team at the present time. But they travelled to Belfast this weekend to play Ulster. So we look forward to that game. That will be a big game. Ulster had a big win last weekend, and we now wait to see how this game goes this evening in Belfast.
That's it, and we'd like to wish them all the very best in that, and we wish all players and coaches from around the country all have a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. So, listen, thanks very much, Adrian, for taking the time out to do Rugby View with us. Thanks very much for all you've done in 2024, and we look forward to talking to you after Christmas.
Thank you very much, Aidan. Thank you.
Thanks very much. And that was myself and Adrian Leddy talking about all things rugby.